Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend,
And I am James, your black friend,
and this is the Fat and Black Connection.
where we talk about anything and everything, well, as long as it's interesting to us.
Absolutely. Because if it's not interesting to us, does it really even matter?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else matters. So, here we are. It is January 17th, 2024.
That is correct.
It's still early into a new year, an election year. And, yeah, man, it's 8:03 p.m. Pacific. We are live. We are interactive.
Release the attack ads.
What does that mean?
What? Release the
Live.
attack ads?
No, live and interactive.
Oh, live and interactive means we are live, and we want to hear from you. We want your comments, your questions. Sometimes it's changed the direction of our show.
Yeah, that's true. So what's up, man? What you been up to?
Not a whole lot, man. Just kind of trying to go back over scripts and everything for Oak Bridge because we all done casting.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I've been going over that. Trying to. I met some people who came through town from CES, so I was trying to get some, got some of their contact info. So trying to keep in contact with them to see, if they want to come on here, because some of them did some pretty cool stuff. One guy, the company that he works for, you know that Honda commercial where they say one day we'll turn your old Honda into your new Honda, like making it electric or whatever. His company already does that. I don't know about the Honda specifically, but he showed me a video.
They convert combustion vehicles to electric.
Yeah, so he does that, which is pretty. It was kind of dope. Like the the video he showed me was actually pretty cool. Of what they did to was it a Ferrari? I think they did. Or no, they were supposed to do a Ferrari, but they ended up doing something else. I don't remember the car. So I got his info, contact with him. There was another young lady that I met. Her and she said her partner, him and her and him, they're in New Jersey. And let's see, what's this? Oh, we do have Durrell.
Oh snap! Too many downers at once. Need another drink.
And she actually was not leading. She was like a speaker at CES for people who do like clay work. I didn't know that was a thing, but they who work in clay, how to put like glass around the clay, and because that's something that she has perfected doing. And so I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so she has a shop and stuff like that out in New Jersey. And so I talked to her, see if I can get her on here as well. Just, so I just, anytime I meet somebody, especially from these conferences, I'm like, yo, let me get that info. Let's, would you be interested in possibly coming on doing a podcast with us? Just let us know what you do.
This comes back to you harassing people in the pre-check line and crap.
No, and I mean, they just came through, and I asked, like the guy that did the with the car thing, he had a DeLorean shirt on, so we were just kind of chatting about that, and he told me what he did, and I was like, oh, that's dope, man. Like, you know what? Hey, let me. Can I get your info? I host a podcast, and we would love to. We love to talk to people who do interesting things like that. That's something that would be pretty interesting because not a whole lot.
Do you give them one of your fancy business cards?
You know what? I had left my business cards that day, but I got his info and I gave him. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I gave him my info. So
very, very professional.
Yeah, no, like it's because I normally have a couple cards with me, but for some reason I didn't have it that day. You guys are no longer a podcast.
That's true.
That's true.
I mean, we could go back to doing it. It's just
yeah. I mean, like, I think, I said podcast, yes, but that's just because the show, I mean, the show's up afterwards. And so I guess you can consider that a pod or what is it, a YouTube cast? I don't know what you call it. But anyway, but yeah, I've talked to, a couple people just, trying to see if they'd be interested in just coming on and chatting with us.
what you drinking tonight?
What am I drinking tonight? Well, Tyra says, are you guys sober tonight? Sure, I'm not. I'm drinking. I have a Sam Adams, just a good old Boston lager. I still have that winter pack in my closet, so I'm trying to kill that off. I still have like a row of beers left. So
Gotcha. And you can take that.
yeah,
comment.
my bad.
So I am not drinking tonight. I mentioned last week about the wicked infection on my toe. So actually, kind of interesting. So when I went into the doctors originally, they'd taken a culture, so they got some of the goop to come out, and they, scooped it to go put it for testing. So over this weekend on Saturday, I got a notification that said, "Hey, your lab results have come back." And reading through the lab results and what they detected the bacteria to be, it said the medication that I was taking, the bacteria is resistant to it. So
that sucks. So you've been taking medication for no reason?
I wouldn't say no reason. Resistant doesn't mean it has no effect. It's just not as good as it could be. So they ultimately did give me a new prescription that I started on Sunday, but it is 7 days, so I am still on prescription, still not supposed to drink. So, however, while I may not be drinking, my wife picked me up this fantastic box of cookies, Vincente Delicacies.
Was it individual packs of cookies?
Yeah, each cookie is individually wrapped.
And no, I'm saying, is there the pistachio cookies?
So I'm gonna read the package to you. So it's a net weight, just so that you know, of 1.1 pounds of cookies in here. It is an assortment of Sicilian cookies and shortbreads. So there is a pistachio cookie, a pistachio double shortbread stuffed with white chocolate cream. Ladies will find you more fine with wine. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how Daryl gets them. He just gets them liquored up.
Come on, it won't go away.
Pistachio cookie coated with white chocolate and pistachio crumbs. Pistachio cookie coated with milk chocolate and pistachio crumbs. And a hazelnut double shortbread stuffed with milk chocolate cream.
Interesting. And Tyrus said, "Mark, I will drink for you. I'm drinking Gold Bar whiskey, the Catch edition."
Yeah, you might want to get that all in now before they get knocked out of the playoffs. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So anyways, which one would you like me to eat, James?
Excuse me, what ladies? No, that's just Daryl talking. He's not. What was that? The pistachio crumbs. There was two of those with the.
Yeah, there's a milk chocolate and a white chocolate.
Do the white chocolate.
All right, so here's what it looks like. Kind of.
Where'd you get these? Where'd you get these from? By BT Dubs.
Costco.
Oh, of course, I'm probably not going to have them out here.
Yes, our Costco seems to always be more amazing than yours, which I don't understand. And it's also interesting that so actually, here's a good story for you. So last time on the Fat and Black Connection, was Wednesday night, and I don't remember if we talked about it on the show, but I know I talked to you after the fact for sure about how it started snowing.
Yeah.
And how in a matter of like an hour and a half, there was already like 4 inches of snow.
Right.
That's crazy for here. Like to see like 2 inches in a day, that's a bit. So 4 inches in a couple of hours.
It's coming down.
So went to bed, got up Thursday, and it was like 8 inches.
No, wait.
No, hold on. Governor Lombardo closed state offices, so I
Mhm.
didn't have to go into work. Something happened because they did a terrible job. Northern Nevada, Reno, the highways, they did a terrible job of taking care of the roads
Mhm.
because it didn't snow anymore. But all day Thursday, it never got above freezing. And so they actually closed the state offices Friday as well.
Okay.
And bear in mind, I was off Monday because of MLK.
Okay.
So I had a 5-day weekend in essence.
Oh darn.
I mean, I because of the job I have, I
You
had to do
can
some work over the weekend or on those days. I had to work from home a little bit, but I certainly didn't work, 16 hours on those 2 days.
right.
Anyway, so here it is. You can see it's got a tint of green. There's the
Yeah.
white chocolate at the top.
Oh, it's just on the top. I thought it was like covered. So, what do you think?
It's pistachio-y.
Very pistachio-y.
So it's definitely much stronger or more robust in flavor than my wife's pistachio cookies were.
Mhm.
Um, it's almost a little bit too much. Like I would like, I think somewhere between my wife's cookies and these.
Mm. What is what's the calories on those?
Mm. Oh, one cookie, 60 calories.
Sheesh. Now you got to try the ones that fell out.
Nah. So last week we talked about the playoffs starting.
Yeah.
Um,
How about them boys?
bro.
I thought, man, I put too much on those fools.
As a matter of fact, we're not going to look at, but we're going to talk about how we picked last week really quickly. So just to be clear, last week, last week on the Fat and Black, we
Last episode.
when it came to the Steelers and Bills, we agreed. We both went with the Bills.
Mhm.
When it came to the Dolphins and Chiefs, we both agreed and went with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Why did we get that wrong?
Boy, did we get that wrong.
When it came to the Browns and Texans, you went with the Browns, and I'm not gonna lie. At the time, I kind of was like, I could see that, but I went with the Texans.
Yeah, and the Browns just crapped the bed.
Yeah. Then we get to the Eagles and Bucks, and you went with the Bucks, and I'm not sure why you did because they certainly. I mean,
No, listen, the way the Eagles went into the playoffs, they were suspect.
Eagles started the season
10 and
1 and finished the season 1-6.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that they went into the playoffs suspect.
Yeah, and you were right. You got that one. Then we had the Rams Lions, and I went with the Rams.
I would definitely with the Lions, and they barely squeaked that out, boy.
Yeah, that was the best game of the weekend. That was the most enjoyable. The rest of them were
Tyrus. Talk about upsets. I didn't see Eagles and Cowboys looking that bad. Yeah, no, I mean they looked horrible.
And of course, speaking about Packers at Cowboys,
made them look. Oh, they in their own house. You got disrespected.
They hadn't lost a game
in your house.
They hadn't lost a game in Dallas for I think they were on a 12 or 14 game win streak at home.
You got violated at home. And to watch that crowd, man, you know what? Now I shouldn't take so much joy in the misery of Cowboys fans, but
Sean and Freuda,
I so do. Anytime I see Cowboys fans just because they're obnoxious. They are very obnoxious, especially when they come to the airport. And so yeah.
Them boys.
Yeah. How about them boys out here? Oh, man. But you know what makes me happy, especially after the Cowboys lose during the playoffs, is Stephen A. the following day. Because Stephen A. on Monday went so hard. It was crazy.
Stephen A. is one of the biggest haters out there.
Oh man, he just oh man him and Shannon Sharp were just cracking up. Brock Purdy has more playoff wins than Dak Prescott. Yes, this is true.
Anyways, we're not talking about the Niners, so
Oh,
okay. Let's look at this weekend coming up.
yes.
So first up on Saturday at 1:30 Pacific, we've
Yep.
got the Texans heading
Versus
into Baltimore.
Heading
Who are you
to
going with?
Baltimore.
Who's your pick, James?
I'm about to go with Baltimore.
Agreed, of course. Then Saturday evening at 5:15 p.m. Pacific, we have the Packers heading into the
San
land of the
Francisco.
Niners. Who are you going with?
I'm going with San Francisco.
I have to. I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah.
Just because I have to. And the Packers actually looked really good. So
Well, they, don't get me wrong; they looked real good, but I just don't like. I don't see them going. I don't see them doing that 2 weeks in a row.
my gut tells me you're right. My gut tells me the Niners are probably going to win it, but I can't support that. So going, so Tyrus, you can call me a hater. So going to Sunday at noon, we've got the Bucks heading into Detroit. Who are you going with?
Man, this is tough because like I think I want to go with the Lions. I want to go with the Lions.
Are you going with the Lions?
Yes, that's
Okay.
where I'm going.
I am going with the Lions as well. And then, of course, finally, Sunday, 3:30 Pacific, we've got the Chiefs heading into Buffalo.
Is this part 3?
Probably.
But this time, and actually, you know what? So here's the crazy thing, and I didn't even realize this. This is the first time Mahomes is not at home during this game.
That's true.
So he's actually he's going to be on the road. Here, here's Tyrus. You're not a hater. You're in denial.
I'm not in denial. I'm saying you guys are probably right.
Yeah,
So
but
I am hating. I don't want them to win. I want the Packers to beat the crap out of them. So,
but what I'm thinking is that even on the road, I'm gonna have to go back with Mahomes.
wow. So you went against them last week.
I did, and that's the thing is that I
regretted it.
thought I thought the Dolphins were gonna put up a way better game, and they certainly did not. And Tyra says, "I say the Ravens will beat the Texans." Where you been? Duh. But I'm just hoping these 4 games are good because this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the highlights from the Cowboys and Green Bay game. I especially liked watching some of the reactions from the Cowboys fans after that game because there was a lot of TV punches and a lot of just sad people, and it was hilarious.
So really quickly,
I never get that serious about a game.
So now we've got to look at, okay, based on those selections, you would have the Chiefs heading into Baltimore for the AFC Championship. Who do you have
there? I'm still gonna have to go with Lamar. I still have to go with Lamar. Like he has more to prove in these next couple games because of what's gone on with him. He has way more to prove than I think almost any other quarterback.
And of course, for me, I would have the Bills going into Baltimore, and I'm going Ravens. So for you, you would have the Lions, who would have won 2 games at home, going into the land of the Niners. Who are you going with to win the NFC?
I'm still going with San Francisco.
Okay. And I would have the Packers heading into Detroit, and I'm going with the Lions.
Okay.
So your Super Bowl would be the San Francisco Niners and the Ravens. So, what do you say there?
That one. I'm. I think I'm gonna have to rock with SF though. I mean, because I mean, Purdy. Well, so that's the thing. It's like Lamar needs a ring, and I think Purdy needs a ring. So I think it's either gonna So I'm thinking Purdy because I'm going with Brock because I think he's just he doesn't realize he's not supposed to be there right now. So
Okay, you're insane. Okay, so you're going with the Niners to win the Super Bowl,
yeah,
and that hasn't changed. That's what you said last week.
that's what I said last week.
So mine has changed. Originally, I had the Eagles and Ravens in the Super Bowl. Obviously, that didn't work out. So my new has Lions and Ravens, and I got to tell you, I'm a Ravens fan. I would be concerned at this if the Lions truly won. Those two games at home, come to play the Niners, and beat the Niners away in San Francisco. That is a scary proposition for me.
Yeah.
This week, I'm going to say Ravens, but if the Lions actually win this weekend, I might have to change that opinion.
Okay.
So just a recap, this weekend coming up, you have the Ravens winning against the Texans, and
the screen had changed.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. You've got the Ravens beating the Texans, the Chiefs beating the Bills,
Yeah.
the Niners beating the Packers, and the Lions beating the Bucks.
Yeah.
And the only game that you and I agree on are the Ravens and the Lions.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I've got our selection saved. I will tell you after the first week, you have 1, 2, 3 points, and I have 2 points if we were looking at it like that.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We should start doing that. Maybe start that next season, like just like points, just a points thing towards the end throughout the football season.
So every week we choose winners of
just
every game.
Yeah, we just go through the week's games, and just
spread, just straight up.
just straight up winners.
Okay,
and then we
open to that.
Yeah, and just whoever has the most points or something, we'll figure something out. Yeah, maybe we can get a couple other people in on it. So, make it a little bit more competitive.
Interesting. So you mentioned earlier, we had auditions last week.
Yep.
On Thursday night and Saturday morning.
Yep.
For Oak Bridge.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about it. How was it?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping for some talent, and they did not disappoint.
We had 46 people audition.
Yeah, so we actually had everything filled out. We had some people, of course, that just either no-showed or couldn't make it, and so hope everything's hunky dory for those people, and don't worry, we still got 2 more seasons of this show to go, so there'll be more opportunities. Maybe not big opportunities, but there'll be opportunities because we already got some big people in these shoes. But yeah, no, we had some great people come through. Of course, some familiar faces and some new faces.
Voices.
Voices. We saw some faces, but
this is true.
But yeah, everything we did all our auditions on Zoom. So like I said, we had some old voices, some new voices, and
I gotta say it was tough. We had 46 people audition. We only had 32 parts. And bear in mind, some of those parts we probably could have doubled up to have one actor doing 2 or 3 parts because they're not huge. But we had 32 people. And honestly, we had more than 32 people that were really good. And so, there are some people that we didn't use that I'm like, how are we not using this person?
Right. But I mean, the main thing is that we had to go with we had to just fit what we had, unfortunately. Like that's what I'm saying. Especially for those, if you did not get cast for some reason, um, make sure you come back because, like I said, season
Oh,
two.
we'll be hitting you up for
Yeah,
season 2 because
definitely, because it's like we want to make sure that we take care. We always take care of people that we know, and then especially when new people come in, we want to make sure we take care of y'all too. So, especially if you're good. If you weren't so good, well, thanks for coming anyway.
if you had a slight psychotic break during your audition, that's okay.
It happens. But yeah, no, I think what we and then so after the auditions, it was you, myself, and Ashley,
Ashley, the
and
creator.
the Ashley, the creator Ashley. And we I mean we hashed it out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, at you as a director, there were things that you wanted. At her as the creator, there were things that she envisioned, and me as the producer, there were things that I felt like we needed. And I don't think uh, this is going to sound weird, but I don't think any one of us got 100% of what we wanted.
Mm-mm.
But I think we probably got the best possible product.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, there was certain things that, I think one of the biggest ones is that one of the people that I wanted, we bumped heads on that one,
Mhm.
and and in turn, I mean, that one you gave me I will give you this. It was one of those. I'll give you this person if you give me this person. Jimmy Jones checking in.
What's good pop culture kaboom? Oh, it's actually him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, hey.
That's
At work,
that.
but one
I don't know that I've ever seen him say hi from his actual account. So
at work, but wanted to say, hey, hey, hey. All right. And then Tyrus, of course. Let's see what he said. Internet provider decided to do maintenance during yeah. So yes, Tyrus is one of those that we had some issues during his audition, but we're all good.
so let's show off the cash, shall we?
I think we shall.
All right. So I'm just gonna go through the list. I'll read off the name, the actor who's playing it, and then maybe James, if you want to give us just a quick snapshot of some of these characters, because obviously this is a new series, doesn't exist, nobody's heard it or anything. So,
Right.
but first up, John Jack Sheridan Harris Jr., Connor Howard.
Oh yeah. So you should be familiar with Connor Howard. Oh, actually, maybe you're not familiar with Connor Howard. You did hear him at the end. He was our announcer for season 2 of Murphy's Inc. And he is and Murphy.
He
as
was
well.
Jack R. Rabbit.
Yeah, he was Jack R. Rabbit in the so he's good at these detective characters or cop characters. Yes, he was Jack R. Rabbit in the
Murder by
Jack R.
Garlic.
Rabbit Files, Murder by Garlic. Yes. So Jack is he is a deputy who's come back to Oak Ridge after being away for a little while, and so yeah, he is heading the case on this one.
Julia Ingram, Monica Wolfkill.
Julia, actually, funny thing is, Julia and Jack used to be married, and she got remarried, of course, and so she is a vice principal, former teacher at the local high school, and she's gonna have a lot to deal with this season.
David Ingram, David Sword.
It was funny when we casted David to play David. It just worked out that way. But no, David Ingram, he is. I read these scripts, and when you already kind of have a bias, when you already have a bias towards a character, I don't really care for him as a person. He seems okay, and then he just kind of flips. But so hopefully, David is just he's kind of all about work. He's kind of put family, and even though he has family, it seems like he's almost put him on the back burner to really further his career. So,
and he is Julia's husband.
Yes, Julia's husband. Yes.
Next up, we've got Josh Ingram,
yeah,
played by Sarah Velarde.
Yeah. So Josh is he is I would almost give him a co-leader position in their friend group. He they so he's younger, and but he just wants to, he's really got that kind of leader vibe, really friendly, wants to kind of befriend everybody. Tyrus, yes, no spoilers, of course. Tyrus, I won't give anything away.
And of course, Ingram. So I'm guessing
That is,
related.
yes, he is the son of David and Julia.
Very good, very good. And then
Yes.
next up, we've got Samantha Sam Ingram, played by Rachel Anderson.
Yeah, Sam, of course, is another Ingram. So that is Josh's older sister. And that is the oldest of Julia and David. She's the quintessential popular girl in high school. She's the head cheerleader. She is she gets great grades. She is pretty much darn near perfect, except she's a teenager, so she's got some attitude issues, especially at home. So what you gonna do?
Next up, Doug Fletcher,
Doug.
Ari Cafferata Jenkins.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Doug, he is, like if Sam's the head cheerleader and real popular in high school, Doug has to be on that level. Doug is he's the quarterback of the football team. He is he's not super bright, but he's got his mind together. So yeah, so that they are the quintessential high school couple, if you will, the Brenda and Eddie.
Popular studies and the king and the queen of the prom.
That's right.
Next up, we've got Trevor Drummond, played by Jerome.
Yeah. This is actually one that I didn't even realize until we talked about it, and that's what we went with. And so Trevor, I would say, would be, if Josh is a co-leader, I would say Trevor would be the other co-leader. Trevor is very kind of he's protective, but he also he's a nice kid. But he knows they're kind of like family, so he kind of pushes some buttons and things like that, but it kind of does it in jest.
Gotcha. Next up, we've got Evelyn Evie Nichols.
Oh yeah,
Anouk Savard.
yeah. So this one was crazy, because I will tell you, this audition was one of the most interesting ones, because this young lady actually wrote her own monologue. We asked people to bring monologues. She actually wrote her own monologue and brought it and performed it as this character. So I was like, yo, how do we not go with her?
Yeah, I don't think there, and for that matter, I don't think there was anybody, frankly, close.
No. There was like maybe one other person, but it was just like I could not deny her this role. Evie is a new girl in town. She is and she gets befriended by Josh, Trevor, and we'll talk about their friend Claire, and as well as Stanley. They befriend her, and yeah, I think that was. I'm excited. I'm really excited for that character and see what comes out of that one. Tyra said, I kind of put Claire as the co-leader of the younger kids along with Josh. Well, yeah, but not really. She still kind of takes a backseat to things. So that's why I said her and Trevor, because if you if you go through it, it's pretty much Trevor tries to make some decisions, Josh makes decisions, and I think they come to heads that way. But that's why I said I think that Trevor is the co-leader. But back to Evie. We'll see kind of what happens throughout the season. She's that new kid who's kind of like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but they see her and they're like, she's eating alone, so they're like, hey, come on over and join us. So
yeah, no spoilers. So next up we have Claire Carmichael, played by Caitlin Cole.
Yeah, Claire is the daughter of the mayor of Oak Ridge, And so yeah, so she kind of navigates a weird little world, being a normal student and a politician's kid.
Stanley Spunky Spinecki, played by Andrew Wade.
Yeah, Stanley. He is, he's one of the other kids. He is, he's. I don't really like. I don't know what to say about Stanley. Stanley's kind of like the kind of the odd man. He's there. He's been friends with these guys for a long time, but I think we'll get more out of him in later seasons. We're going to learn a little bit more about him in later seasons.
This next one, the actor chosen, I'm really excited to see this, just because we really know him for one part in a show,
Mhm.
one major part in a show, and I think this is going to be interesting. And his audition was amazing. And that's for Sheriff Lamar Morris, Justin Clouser.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Because my favorite was that his audition piece was closing arguments from a show, and I didn't know this. He's actually a lawyer,
Mhm.
and so he's going from courtroom to the main streets of Oak Ridge. Not really main streets, but So Sheriff Lamar Morris, he is actually the father of Julia, and he's just kind of run Oak Ridge Sheriff's Department for a long time. So he's there, and he's trying to keep everything safe for the people.
Next up, we've got Officer Jimmy Lopez, Angel Kabarlak.
Yeah, Jimmy he's a newer officer. He is in Oak Ridge, at least. Like, he might have done something, at least academy wise, maybe not in Ohio where Oak Ridge is, but yeah. But he's kind of green, and that he will be partnered up with Jack throughout the season.
Peter McGowan, played by Remy Savard.
Yeah, Peter is he's the owner. Yeah, he runs McGowan Industries. Oh, what's that?
It's Cookie.
Oh, anyway, he runs McGowan Industries. It's they have opened a new factory in Oak Ridge, so it's providing the citizens with a lot of jobs. It's bringing in some new people, and we'll see what he's all about throughout the season.
Mayor Gary Carmichael, played by Brian Murphy. I wonder what that character does.
I have no idea. No, he is. Of course, that is the mayor. He is the father of Claire, and so one of the things he's just kind of that TV sleazy mayor character. But and there's parts of him that cares. I mean, he pretty much just cares for his daughter and his poll numbers.
Fair enough. Next up, we've got Rita Sterling, played by Gina Morovic.
Yeah, Rita is the town dispatcher. She pretty much, everybody knows her. She knows everybody for the most part, and she works in the the sheriff's office, and she's getting calls and relaying them out to the guys. So she likes what she does, and she loves her guys.
Next up, we've got Valerie James, played by Carrie Hampton.
Yo, I'm excited for this character, especially just moving forward. But so Valerie she's been in Oak Ridge for a little while. She is the receptionist at the high school. She knows Julia, from when Julia was teaching, and also now works a lot closer with Julia as the vice principal.
The scientist, Michelle Calhoun.
Oh,
so before you go to this one, I had an interesting conversation because I actually had a recording session last night with Michelle, and we were talking. She's like, "What is up with you guys giving me unnamed parts?" So first she was the announcer on Murphy's Inc.
Right.
Then she
the
is
interrogator.
the interrogator, and now she's the scientist.
I mean, we maybe can come up with a name later.
No, I told her. I said,
Oh,
from now on, I'm going to make
just
sure we deliberately cast you as
cast you in-
unnamed characters.
you see what happens. No, but no, when we had actually, the three of us kind of had talked about it prior to, casting, and we were like, we want to do something, let's make the scientist a woman. And it was like, okay, that's not an issue. We could do that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we decided to go with Michelle. And, but yeah, no, the scientist is, that's just a interesting part. They have a little bit bigger part in one of the episodes, a little further down the line, little parts throughout. But I think the scientist is going to be a lot of fun.
Next up, we have, and I'm going to do these together, Ernie and Mildred Rosenstern, played by Joseph and Katie Marie Bly.
Let's see, who's this?
Carl Henry Neffcoat checking in.
Hi guys, and he says, "How are you?" And
living the dream.
We are good. Yeah, we are good. We're just going over our cast for Oak Bridge. So yeah, Ernie and Mildred, and so when we were talking about this beforehand, I was just like, "Yo, I think it would be brilliant," especially when I saw that Joe Bly, who's done a number of things with us already. He is the most amazing sound guy you can ever ask for. When his wife decided to audition, I was like, yo, I'm thinking I would love it if we could actually have a husband and wife team do this part. Because I mean, parts of it, I don't know what their home life is, but I can only imagine there's just couples that are, having a couple do this is going to bring it so much more life than anything else. And I love Joe. I can't wait to work with his wife as well. Katie. So I'm hoping to get some fun stuff with them. Actually, I have a recording session with them a little bit later next week, and so I'm really excited for that.
Nice. Next up, we've got Natalie Stewart, played by Anita Kelly.
Natalie, Natalie is the waitress. She is she's a waitress in town. Everybody knows Natalie. And I was just reading something that our creator sent out today, and that threw me a little bit. But I was like, oh, okay. But no, I think Natalie is, she's not the town gossip, but she hears probably everything. So because people come into the diner and they're just chit chatting away, and she's probably not meaning to eavesdrop.
Is it eavesdropping if they're just talking around you?
Yeah, they're just talking, and she's just serving them coffee, and they're probably continuing the conversation, and so she might hear some things, and so she probably knows a little bit about everybody, maybe things I don't want her to know, but she seems like a really nice woman.
Next up, we've got Monica Prescott, played by Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, I'm excited because I have not worked with Jessica in quite some time. So, but Monica is Sam's best friend. She is, she's kind of all around. That she's probably like a member of every club and does things in every club in high school. So.
And then, of course, we have other townsfolk in Oak Bridge. We've got Havish Ravapati, Stephanie Bauman, Jens Pizzatola, Tyrus Rayner, R. Mike Kelly, Arlo Hanafi, Gavin Wales, Cassandra, Mitch Kay, and Jeff Moore.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's a couple people that'll be playing a little bit different parts.
There's a reason I didn't list their characters.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But anyways, so this is our cast. So make sure we'll keep you updated on how things are progressing with Oak Bridge, and that will be coming to you soon. Make sure you go to the Oak Bridge page on Facebook and like that, and that'll give you updates there. Make sure you follow 97 and Now. That will give you updates there. And yeah. Yeah, my bad. I forgot. I haven't done that in a little while. So, yeah.
So yes, give us a like, subscribe, all that stuff over at Oak Bridge. You're going to want to follow this one recording.
What is it? Natalie is like the theme of Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Yeah.
So you start recording for Oak Bridge next week,
Next week.
and you're going hard.
Yes, sir.
You've got a ton of recording sessions: Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, Sunday, and you're going to be hitting that bottle hard, I guess, huh?
Racks on racks on racks on racks on racks.
And you don't even gamble, so
you're right. I don't.
So, anyways, check out Oak Bridge. It will be coming later this year. Probably summertime, we're thinking, is when it'll release.
Summertime.
Just sit back and unwind.
10 weeks, people. 10 weeks, 10 shows.
10 episodes.
Let's go.
So let's get into some stuff, shall we?
Yep.
We got an official trailer for Spaceman.
Spaceman.
I am more confused than I was. So is this Adam Sandler trying to do a serious piece?
He's done a couple that have serious moments. Like I think if you ever seen Click, that it's got comedy in there, but
it's a comedy with some seriousness. This appears to be a serious film. There was no comedy in this trailer.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
changing it up.
It definitely will be interesting. We saw Jim Carrey try to do this, and he did okay. We've seen other.
Well, he's done a couple. I mean, like, you know, if you think, like, when I think of Jim Carrey serious, like, I know a lot of people will go probably what was it, the Majestic, I think, was the small town with the movie theater. I remember something about that. But I think for me, when I think of Jim Carrey serious, I think of The Truman Show. That was like the first time I saw him as I saw him more serious than anything.
Yeah, and don't forget, Man on the Moon was an attempt at somewhat serious, based around a comic, right?
Right.
What was the one, Sunspot of the Mind or whatever?
Was that him?
Yeah. My wife maybe watched it a long time ago.
Sunshine, was it Sunshine in the Spotless Mind or something like that?
I don't know.
Is it him and Natalie Portman or something? Was that him? No, that's not it.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that was with Kate Winslet, Kirsten Dunst, Mark Ruffalo, Elijah Wood, Tom Wilkinson. And that was a pretty serious, like, film. So again, that we're talking about Adam Sandler. We're talking about
Eternal Sunshine. Yep. Yeah. So no, now I mean, you know, every once in a while, I think they just need to try and stretch themselves, and so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm somewhat interested. Like, I will probably watch this.
Yeah, I enjoy Adam Sandler films. Like, I've enjoyed a lot of his movies, and so, like, you know, I don't see why I wouldn't watch this one.
Yeah. Did you happen to see this thing I posted? This gentleman, Lanny, from Disney Imagineering. He is only the second Disney employee to ever receive the Inventors Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He is only the second Disney employee. Do you know and I know you know this because you saw it, but the only other Disney employee to ever enter the Inventor Hall of Fame.
Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Walt Disney.
Oh. Yeah, no. I was like, oh, no.
So this guy is responsible for Madame Leota's floating head now. I don't know if you remember, but it used to be stationary at the table, and now it floats around the room.
Yeah.
That's this guy. He is also the inventor, creator of the eyes in the animatronics and how they move and everything now. That's him. The lightsaber that we've seen that looks probably like the best lightsaber you could possibly have outside of the films, right? We've seen it where it looks to genuinely extend like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
This was this guy. Wow. If you didn't watch the whole video, you missed out. The end of the video, he introduces something called the hollow tile. And what this is it's basically like a mat in the middle of a room that you can walk on and you don't go anywhere. So you literally stand on this mat and you can start taking steps, but you don't go anywhere. And you can just stand on the mat and the mat can move you where it wants you to be. This thing is
Oh,
insane. Go back, watch this video.
yeah, we'll go back and watch that for sure. That's awesome. I need to.
But congratulations, Lanny,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame inventor, and clearly well deserved. Especially when I saw this thing that they showcase at the very end, the hollow tile.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Disney always keeping us at the forefront of technology.
Oh, I missed this one. Brian said, yeah, Eternal Sunshine. He said that's a weird movie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So this next one I threw in because I was like, okay, is this where we're at? Like we're doing simulators for everything now. We've had racing simulators, we've had city building simulators, we've had goat simulators.
Yeah, that one was weird.
And now we have Taxi Life, a city driving simulator.
Yo, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. So if I called a cab and one of these cars pulled up, and I'm just talking about the ones in this screenshot, I'd be real hesitant. Like, yo, how much is this actually gonna cost me? You know what I'm saying? Like, those are kind of just vintage, almost Rolls Royce looking vehicles. And so yeah, if I had a cab and it pulled up and it looked like that, I'm like, ugh, how much is this ride gonna cost? That's Uber Black for sure.
Yeah. So, and here's the even more weird part about this.
It's
game.
in Barcelona.
Yes, it takes place in Barcelona,
What?
Spain.
What?
Like I would think a game like this would take place in London or New York or a major, well-known metropolitan.
Not Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Uh,
I guess I'll learn about I probably won't play this, but I mean, what am I going to learn? The city? So if I'm going on vacation, this might be an interesting game. If I'm going to,
and who knows, we may do a Mediterranean cruise or something and go to Barcelona.
I know these streets.
Yeah, I know where we're going. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I certainly probably will not play it unless it's free. Like if it becomes free on Microsoft or whatever, then okay, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of games, I cannot believe this. City of Heroes. This game was huge back in the mid 2000s, and I was a huge fan of it because I don't know if you remember, but there was Star Trek Online, STO, that was made by Cryptic Studios, and they also came out with City of Heroes.
Okay.
And City of Heroes, it was you create a superhero, you get to create their costumes, there's sets of superpowers you get to pick, and it was an MMORPG, and it was awesome. The problem was a few years later, DC came out with DC Online, which was more or less taking City of Heroes but putting a DC skin on it.
I remember. Yeah. Okay. So I do remember. I don't remember this. I do remember the DC one. I didn't actually play it, but I remember when that came out.
So one of the cool things City of Heroes did is they came out with City of Villains,
right?
Where it was the same game, but now you had the ability to choose to be a hero or a villain. The only thing and I get it. One of the things that I found disappointing about City of Heroes is you couldn't combine certain skill sets. Like you couldn't be super strong and fly, or a speedster and fly. You could do one of those things that, and each of those would have different skill sets within. But I would have loved to, like, I want them all. But anyways,
powers combined.
This game unfortunately went under around 2013.
Thanks, World of Warcraft.
No, it was really because of DC Online.
Thanks DC for ruining something else.
Yeah, and DC Online wasn't even great. It didn't last that long.
No, I don't remember. I remember it coming out and then it disappearing.
But so unfortunately, City of Heroes went under. Well, I was unaware, but I guess about 5 years later, in 2018, someone somehow got access to the source code for City of Heroes, created their own servers, and stood the game back up. Completely illegal, right? That's not okay. And for the last 5 years, this game has been evidently in existence again and able to play on these servers. However, just 2 weeks ago, as a matter of fact, I believe it was January 4th, the company who owns City of Heroes, NCL,
Hey, our game's still up.
gave the guys who stood this game back up an official license to continue so that it's no longer illegal. This is now considered legit.
Tyra says World of Warcraft made all those obsolete. Surprised it's coming back.
I am not.
Well,
not.
that's because I haven't heard anything about World of Warcraft in ages.
It's still out there. It's still going. I don't know. But anyways, City Heroes it's been back for about 5 years, but it is now legally back. So I will tell you, I've already downloaded. I will be creating my hero at some point in the near future. Obviously, I don't have a ton of time for playing games like this, but just for the nostalgia factor, I'm super excited to get back into the city and just probably get a flyer and just fly around and check it out. I will say the graphics are pretty much the same as they were when the game ended, slightly improved, but I wouldn't say it's significant from what I'm seeing in some of the screenshots, but still pretty awesome.
Welcome back, City Heroes.
Speaking of heroes, James,
Yo,
did you watch Echo?
of course I did.
Did you finish Echo?
Of course I did.
So I didn't realize only 5 episodes.
Yeah, it was short.
They dropped all 5 at the same time. I finally, I got through it, finished it. And here's the one thing I'm going to say up front as a preface. I was zero interested in this series going into it.
I was interested because of the way that it ended on Hawkeye.
I didn't care. I didn't care about her as a character in Hawkeye. The whole Kingpin at the end where we don't see it, but we hear the gunshot. It's Kingpin. I knew he wasn't going to die. So the only thing I cared about.
Sorry, Tyrus.
WoW just had another expansion a few months ago and is still going strong. Granted, their numbers are lower because of the multiple lawsuits and sexual harassment suits.
What?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You're not good at this.
I clicked it and I double clicked it again. So my bad.
Double click the mouse, James. Double click the mouse. So I'm just saying I had no interest. And then when I started seeing the trailers for this, and I was just like, okay, so it's Disney through Marvel doing, more cultural stuff. And I'm not hating on that. It's just more like, I don't have a problem if you want to do it, but don't do it in like a forceful manner where like, you know what I mean?
I didn't even realize that was a part of it.
Well, yeah, I had no clue watching Hawkeye that she was of a Native American descent.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought she was Hispanic.
Yeah, I very little knew about Echo from the comics prior to the Hawkeye series, and not enough that I could have told you that the character is of Native descent. But anyways, we start off the series right away getting backstory on her family, on how she grew up, what happened to her mother. And I'm not gonna lie, the first like 20 minutes of this series is like very traumatic.
Well, and plus like the whole there was the backstory of the earthquake, like the earthquake and everything, and then there was what, actually another thing that I found very interesting was that I've seen shows with deaf people, and or where like a couple, like one or two members of the family will know how to sign,
but like this entire family almost made a point of learning to sign, which I found very fascinating.
Well, and remember, part of it was the mother. So Echo's mother, or what is her character name? I don't honestly.
remember.
How sad is that? We don't even know
Yeah.
the main character's act. Her mother was deaf as well, and so they learned signing for her primarily.
Wait, I thought her mom was hearing. I didn't know her mom was deaf.
No, her mother was deaf as well.
Oh, it didn't seem like she was deaf at all.
Did you see her talk at all?
Yeah, but it didn't sound like she was it didn't sound like she was deaf.
What is that? Did you hear her talk at any time?
Yeah, like just a couple times that
No, she doesn't talk at all
her mom talked to her.
through sign language.
But in that part when at the end, like towards the end,
Go back and rewatch it.
I swear she talked to her.
Go back and rewatch it. She
All
does
right.
not talk to her. It's all sign language.
Mm.
Anyways,
Yeah,
nah,
I'm pretty sure.
nah.
Okay, we'll go back. We'll double check, but
So, anyways, we progress through. We get that backstory. We fast forward through Hawkeye, in essence, get
Yo.
to.
that first fight she had with Daredevil was fire.
I would have liked to have seen him more in this series.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she spoke while signing.
I don't think so.
You need. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, because I'm sure because in the first episode she asked her if she wants to. She asked for ice cream if they can get ice cream, and she goes, "Do you want to?" She asked her, "Do you want to ride with me to the store and get ice cream?"
And she said that verbally.
Yes,
I don't know.
she said it verbally while signing to her.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and check that.
Yeah, you can go back and check that. I'll check it myself too. But
Yeah, you do that. So, anyways,
Anyway.
so we end up, end of Hawkeye. She shoots, Kingpin in the face.
In the face,
Who shoots someone in the face?
cold-blooded.
And now she's on the run to get out of New York and decides, for whatever reason, I'm going to go back to my hometown.
Yep.
Where I haven't been in, 20 years or
Was that-
whatever.
Was that Oklahoma?
It was in Oklahoma, yes.
Yeah.
And evidently there's a bounty on her head.
Well, this Kingpin.
The shooter of the Kingpin,
Yeah, if you shoot the Kingpin, there's a bounty on your head.
evidently. So she comes back to town, gets into fights, reconnects with family members like Biscuits.
Biscuit.
This is Biscuits. Come back now, yeah.
He was quite enjoyable character.
And he was trying to offload that PS4, man.
Yeah, he's like, I got this PlayStation. I need it.
So we progressed.
I thought it
through
was a PS1 actually.
No, it was a PS4. So I enjoyed, some of these flashback moments, especially like seeing her family over the generations and how they're echoing through. And so I loved how every episode was about a descendant of hers until we got to the finale, and it was about her,
Yeah.
and Maya. There we go.
There you go. Thank you.
Just came back to me. But I loved episode, I think this was 4, where we got a lot of the backstory of her relationship with Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, because this is before her father's dead. And this was happening where he's like beating the crap out of, an ice cream vendor because of the way that the ice cream vendor treats her.
It says she was speaking to her husband prior, like in that scene with the fire. She was also talking while signing, but yeah, she was also speaking to her husband prior to talking to Echo. Oh, for the hot chocolate, that's what it was. It was an ice cream.
I don't know. I gotta check because she doesn't talk.
And I'm still trying to understand how she rides a motorcycle with one leg. She has a prosthetic.
She has a prosthetic.
Leg. Yeah, so you can easily. you can kick off and everything with that one leg. It even
Yeah,
depending either side it's on. So
and she might have a modified motorcycle.
yeah, she very
with the
well could have
clutch
modified.
with the clutch on the side where her real leg is, or maybe the modified with a clutch up. But there are many. That's get out of here with that.
That is that's a minute point.
But this moment where Wilson Fisk beats the crap out of this guy, and he's concerned because Maya sees him, and he's concerned. No, I'm not a bad guy. And she comes over and starts kicking the crap out of the.
Well, that's the thing is that he was trying to call his fixers or whatever, whoever he calls. He was trying to get a new
suit,
and everything, so she didn't see it, and she happened to see it, and then like you said, she comes down and she starts kicking the dude, and I was like, well, he didn't deserve the whooping that Fisk gave him for sure. But he was super disrespectful. So the kick that she threw in there I was okay with that.
Yeah, I will say I love Vincent D'Onofrio. I thought, him still as Wilson Fisk, I think he's great. I loved him in Daredevil. I loved him in Hawkeye. I loved him in this. And I will say, as this series progressed,
no, Tyrus, neither of us have motorcycle licenses, and
I'm not sure how that's relevant.
Yeah.
This is coming from the guy who owned a Harley, so he thinks he knows everything about how every motorcycle is built. And
well, I thought you had to own 2 Harleys, one to ride and then one for spare parts.
That's true. That's true. That is the rule of Harley ownership, and I don't think he had 2. So, but I loved the relationship between these two and how it developed, and she shoots him in the face, and he comes back and like, let's have a family dinner.
Yeah, she didn't trust him though for that. She the wine she should have poured out. Said, I got sodas.
and I loved the technology.
Yo,
we know it's not
dope.
real, but like the contact lens that when he talks to her, it like does the signing because
that was pretty dope.
And for him, when she signs, it obviously interprets so he can hear.
Yeah.
If that existed, that would be
phenomenal,
a game changer for deaf people.
Okay.
And
thank you.
That's my brother.
Yes.
Bro, I'm gonna have to pay the late fee. It's not going.
All right.
But
We'll talk later.
But I already applied that NFL bartender.
All right, cool.
Appreciate that, bro.
Oh man.
Live TV, folks. Live TV.
What does he say? Tyra says, there are modifications, but one foot is your gear shift, the other foot is your brake. I thought the brake was on the handlebars. You need 2 feet. She had 2 feet. One was a prosthetic, but if whatever she had to do, she could do with the prosthetic.
Can you ride a motorcycle with one leg? You can ride a motorcycle using prosthetic limbs.
Yeah.
Can you ride a Harley with prosthetic legs? Some motorcycles, such as Harley Davidson, already offer this setting on their cruiser models.
Yeah.
In some cases, riders with the left prosthetics can choose to move the gear shifter to the right side for more convenience. A more recent alternative is the Clicktronic electronic shifter system.
Oh.
So, yes, Tyrus doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Shocker. Oh, speaking of which, happy birthday, Tyrus.
Oh, happy birthday.
It was, a day ago, but still, happy birthday.
Giving him shit off a couple of days after his birthday.
Anyways, all of this to say, I got to be honest with you. I ended up actually enjoying this series.
I did. I was like, I want more.
Yeah, there is a lot of hate out there about this series. I've been looking, and people are like poo-pooing it, and I don't agree.
For
Don't
what?
get me wrong; it is not as good as Loki. It is not as good as What If. But it, to me, certainly,
It's definitely no WandaVision.
I think this was better than Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I think this was better than Miss Marvel.
I don't know about that, but I enjoyed Miss Marvel. But if you
I know
say
you
so.
did. I feel like this series was much better than I was expecting. So I hope that it.
Tyrus, how do you know? How do you know that her bike had no modifications on it? She worked for Kingpin. She could probably had any bike in the world that she wanted.
Yeah, you would think he would make sure that she has a bike with modifications. And look, over here on this side of the bike, I don't see uh, where a clutch would be. Not on this side. Oh, maybe that's a clutch. I can't see the other side of the bike, so I can't say for certain. Here's the other side of the bike, but she's blocking it. So again, I can't say for certain, and I can't remember. I think her prosthetics on her right leg.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And the actress actually is an amputee. She legit is
that's
missing.
legit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's even cooler.
So Tyrus, keep on hating, you hater.
Haters gonna hate
All day, every day. But like I said, I enjoyed the series a lot more than I thought I would, and I would actually be interested to see some
It
more.
says, what's it? It says,
Jam.
Left hand is clutch, right hand is front brake, and then it says, James, you can look at the bike and see. Okay. I see, but
I don't know. I see two handles up here in the front.
Yeah.
That
I don't know.
those look like brakes to me on either side.
Yeah.
Going back to this shot again, confirming right side, that looks like a brake handle to me.
Yeah. So
You're telling me that's the clutch? I don't know. And again, as we just read from Harley's website themselves, it can be modified to have an alternative Clicktronic electric shifter system.
There you go.
So, again, haters gonna hate. Nothing you can do about that.
Oh my God, it's not a BMX. Of course, it's not a BMX. It's a motorcycle. We get that. But listen to the words that are coming out of Mark's mouth.
Tell your brother, bless you.
He sneezes really loud.
He sneezes hella loud.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would like more Echo. I think I definitely didn't think it going into it, but I will say the series did do a good job of convincing me to care about the character.
It's an electronic bike, Mark. And what does that mean?
Point.
I
guess
one of the things I did like was that at the end, that fight at the end, it was too short for me, but I did like how she finally came into that power. She kind of had flashbacks of it. She basically used her fighting ability throughout the entire thing, but that last fight was when she actually really finally clicked into.
Well, and I'm still not sure necessarily what her powers are, and is she able to share her power?
Because that's what it seemed like. She was that's what it looked like. Either that or they all
because they're all related,
being from the same family. She was able to kind of.
Did she activate power within them? Is she sharing her power? Do all of them now have powers?
I think it seems. I think she's more sharing it. Because they were doing the same they were doing pretty much the same moves as she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically like she was kind of took over. She not took over them, but she shared her powers, and so the fighting. So when she was fighting, she was basically fighting with them, but and also like for them though. Because like if you notice, she was doing the moves that she was doing. They were pretty much mimicking.
What did you think of that mid-credits, if you will, scene with Wilson on a plane? Because, at the end, so I guess she healed him right? I thought she was going for like the
The death gill.
7-finger death punch.
Yeah, but no, she ended up. But she basically like broke down his, his
His hurt and
trauma.
hate, everything that
his childhood trauma that made
his
him into the
father.
man that he is. But yeah, I think that is. I'm.
So in the comics,
Uh-huh.
Wilson Fisk does become mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And we see this in some of the Spider-Man video games that exist there. And so it is true to the comics, him
I was saying,
running.
is this how Daredevil Reborn is going to come into effect?
That is a great question, and I wonder if that's what Daredevil Reborn is going to revolve around, is him
Running for mayor.
fighting, him running for mayor, or maybe by the time we get there, he is mayor.
Yeah.
And is corrupt, right? He's still corrupt. But that's where I'm curious to see the dynamic, because if her healing of him actually took effect, you would think that he wouldn't be corrupt Wilson Fisk.
It's just that I think she helped him deal with the fact, with
that childhood traumatic.
Yeah. So now that doesn't hold him back. I mean, even if that was holding him back, it's definitely not going to hold him back anymore. The man's corrupt, just straight up. I mean, he had an interpreter murdered.
Yes, he did.
Straight up murdered. She interpreted it for a while. Yeah, and so she probably knew some stuff, but she was like, look, just let me go. I won't say anything after he excused her. And they popped her. I was like, yo, what?
Yeah, I will say this obviously was the bloodiest series we've had to date.
Well, that's why it was. That's one of the reasons it was Marvel Spotlight.
Marvel Spotlight.
Oh, dear Lord, Tyrus, get off of it.
Is he still going? She's not riding an electric bike.
It's not that serious, bro. It's not that serious. Sorry. We got over it a long time ago.
And to be clear, I'm reading this. The Kliktronic electric shifter gear change system is designed to accommodate riders with disabilities, preventing changing gear with the foot. The Kliktronic push system.
Tyrus, you hear that?
Yeah, so this goes on combustion motorcycles.
Oh boy.
Just as much as it could go on electric motorcycles.
So
the particular bike she is riding, she would not be able to ride because of her disability. The fact that you called the clutch brakes and didn't know about the foot brakes shows us enough.
I don't know nothing about motorcycles.
Hey, you know what's interesting is I have seen a man drive a car with no hands. Yes, sir. He got the stumps.
Oh, okay.
So how does that work?
Did he have the claws?
I have seen a person drive a car with no feet or legs.
I've seen that. Or they were.
Oh, because they're able to move the gas and brake up to the steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
So Tyrus's premise is asinine, and we'll leave it at that. The fact that he doesn't believe that a vehicle, whether it's a motorcycle, a car, or anything, couldn't be modified to accommodate a disabled person.
Everything should be modified.
I can't. I have seen a person, a paraplegic, that is stuck in a wheelchair drive a car. A bike is not a car.
I get it. But at the same time, are you not hearing what we...
So if we had motorcycle licenses and had motorcycles and we were making these same... What about a bus? They clearly let disabled people drive buses.
Oh, jeez.
Again, if you and I had motorcycle licenses and had...
it wouldn't change anything.
Yes, what would his argument be at that point? Just because we don't have a motorcycle license and don't ride motorcycles,
there's this wonderful thing called Google that can tell me everything I need to know.
Yes, it has like all of the known information of the world and history.
Oh, damn.
And as a matter of factuality, while I didn't have a motorcycle license, I did have a motorcycle, technically, if you will recall. And I did drive that motorcycle. Yes, they let Tyrus. That's true, Jeff. She would not be able to drive a bus.
With a prosthetic leg, she can
That is
brake.
called discrimination, sir.
She can use the gas. She can use I mean, I don't know how, but because I'm assuming that they have they have the double pedals, but yeah, she can do it. Anyway,
Google, just because I'm curious. Let's take a look at this. Here we go. What does this say? Amputee takes the DMV to court for the right to drive school. When it comes to a school bus, we cannot take risks or make exceptions, Hensley said, citing standards defined in Title 13 of California. Amputee gets top marks as a school bus driver. And that's from the Los Angeles Times. I think that's California.
Yeah.
Commercial driver's license for these reasons, CDLs are generally denied to drivers who do not meet federal medical standards. However, in accordance with statute and court decisions, can you drive with a prosthetic leg? This is true. You will be driving with a prosthetic leg. So I don't know. I think research needs to be done before you speak sometimes.
I didn't even need to research that, and I already knew that happened.
Yeah. That's like saying, I'm too fat to drive a bus. No.
Damn.
I'm just saying, like, you could make any outlandish statement, right? I am too fat to ride the monorail at Disneyland. No, I'm not.
No, I've seen bigger people ride that monorail.
Anyways,
actually, the only thing I would say, if you might be too big to get, well, not you, but there's other people that are probably too big to get on the submarine.
I will say we were too big for all of us to be in a teacup together.
That was true. That was really tight.
That was not enjoyable.
No, not at all. When it was just you and me, cool. But
yeah, that was fine because we sat on opposite sides.
Right. You, me, your wife, and kid. Hold on. Well, let's see. So Daryl said, well, and then Tyrus said, I'm speaking for my job, not school. Oh, boy.
Oh, so he's speaking for his job. So as an employee of the California
Valley Transit Authority,
Public Transit Authority, in the authority of that, you are carte blanche saying that that someone with a prosthetic would not be allowed to drive a bus. Are you sure you want to make that
so let's
statement?
see. So sorry. So Brian first said not true. The subs have an alternative have an alternate entrance.
So the submarines at Disneyland, I don't know if you're aware of this, for especially like pregnant folks and stuff like that have a hard time getting down into the sub. They also have a room in which you can go to observe basically the entirety of the ride in a room. So it's like it's almost like you're sitting in a submarine, and I don't know if it's recorded or if it's a live feed, but it's like you're sitting there with your head in the window, and you get the same effect. It's just you're not on the actual ride.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. I didn't know about that. Thank you, Brian. And then Tyrus said, "This is back to the bus thing. School bus, is different. I'm saying is different. It has different rules. Okay, that was that one. And then Brian says." And you can watch it from an alternate viewing place. Yeah, you don't have to get into the sub yet. So,
yeah. I'm gonna have to hit up Valley Transit Authority or whatever it is down there and say, "Hey, your employee representing you, speaking as a matter of authority, made this carte blanche statement."
Is this true or false?
Yes. Are you
Discriminating
are
against
you
somebody
discriminating against handicapped individuals
who
on
possibly wants to drive a bus?
the basis of their handicap?
Because that is
Because
illegal.
I don't understand, and maybe I'm not a bus driver, and I'm sure Tyrus is going to say because I'm not a bus driver, I can't speak to it. But I know that
No, but he did say this.
they wouldn't be able to pass what's required for the coach checkout and brakes test with a prosthetic leg. And anyways, I'm curious because I know that like when you drive a car, you only really use unless you have a manual.
Manual.
Which doesn't really exist that much anymore. So if you have an automatic vehicle, you only use your right, or you only use one foot. I should specifically say.
Yeah. So I mean, if you had a prosthetic on your let's say your right, then I'm sure you can customize some, and like the pedal can be moved.
Not only could it be customized, but again, as we discussed before, you can have the gas and brake.
Oh, yeah,
moved
on the
onto
handle, yeah.
steering wheel.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that can be done. I am fairly certain that the transit authority would not want a lawsuit brought about against them purely because of them denying somebody.
Listen, if they truly cannot, I'm saying this, if they can't do it, their disability makes it so they cannot do it. I can understand, because you're not going to modify, because you don't drive the same bus all the time, and I know that.
Mhm.
And so sometimes you may have to, you're not going to modify one bus for this one person, and so I get that. But if they can do it and this handicap has no hindrance on it, they can pass the tests and everything that you need to do, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to drive.
Yeah, and you can't not hire somebody based on a disability. That is a violation of federal law.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, you can not hire somebody because they have a DUI.
yeah,
That doesn't
that's understandable. You can if this person literally, if they have some reason why they cannot do it, if they can't drive, they can't do it safely, blah blah blah. Oh my God, are you not listening to me?
You use both feet driving a bus. There's no way they can modify 1,200 buses for someone miss disability. So now he's insinuating that only women can't drive buses.
No, I've seen plenty of women bus drivers. No, but I think what he's saying here is that you have to use both feet. Your prosthetic is
A foot.
A foot. It has a foot on it. Like it's not
it has the functionality. It has the.
There's times when my feet don't work all the time. Like it'll like cramp up or something, and so I'm like,
certainly we don't want you driving a bus then.
Yeah, but like that's very rare. But I'm just saying, like they can figure it out. They have ways to and exactly what I said. I know they're not going to modify a bus, all the buses
1,200 buses.
for that. I get that. And maybe this person will, if they, for some reason they get hired, and they might just have that one bus, and that's maybe the bus that they drive, and that's what they will use, and they will maybe modify that one bus. But regardless, I think that this just doesn't make sense that you're saying they can't do it with a prosthetic leg. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to. And I know I'm not a bus driver, so I don't know, but at the same time, he says, Jeff said, it wears a shoe. And look, and I don't know if is that on a license if they have a prosthetic?
Hold on. Here's what we're doing, because we're here at this point. We might as well.
Got here.
Okay, so this is the California DMV website, ca.gov, commercial driver's license, medical eligibility and exams.
Hold on 1 second, Mark. Let's just read Tyrus's last. Light rail is controlled by hand. They would have an easier time operating that, but bus, no. We drive a different vehicle every day. There is no way to accommodate.
I still am. He still hasn't answered my question on why you need both feet. But so this is commercial drivers, firefighters, non-commercial drivers with Class A and B licenses are required to meet federal medical standards in order to operate commercial motor vehicles.
Okay.
Who federal medical standards apply to? Drivers of Class A, B, and Commercial C have to meet these standards. Medical standards, loss or limited use of extremities. Drive is qualified if loss or impairment of an extremity or any significant limb defect or limitation does not interfere with the ability to perform normal tasks associated with operating a motor vehicle. Exceptions. The driver may be granted a waiver if it is determined that the impairment will not interfere with the driver's ability to control and safely operate a motor vehicle. Exceptions may be made and restricted commercial licenses may be issued. The driver must take a drive test in the applicable type of vehicle unless they were previously tested and qualified.
Because a bus driver needs both feet to break one off in your ass just in case.
Insulin dependent diabetes. So this speaks to that. They have no established medical history of clinical diagnosis of diabetes mellitus, currently requiring insulin for control. Cardiovascular system. They have no clinical diagnosis of any cardiovascular disease, which is accompanied by syncope, dyspnea, shortness of breath, collapse, or congestive cardiac failure. Respiratory system. So I'm not going to go through all of these. Blood pressure, Tyrus. They have no clinical diagnosis of high blood pressure likely to interfere with their ability to operate. Tyrus, how's your blood pressure? Is it good? I think we're probably pushing it. So, musculoskeletal system, seizure or loss of consciousness, mental or functional disorder, Tyrus. They have no mental, nervous, or organic or functional disease or psychiatric disorder. Vision, they need to have at least 20/40. Hearing, drugs, alcoholism. They have no current clinical diagnosis of alcoholism. So clearly that first line is where we address loss of or limited use of extremities. So they can receive a CDL in some situations. So no, it's not a carte blanche that says anyone, everyone can.
Jeff says I'm out then.
Yeah. California standards, CVC 12804.9 requires that DMV determine whether the applicant is mentally and physically fit to operate a motor vehicle and permits us to consider the standards required by federal regulations in establishing California medical requirements for commercial driver's license. It also provides that any physical defect of the applicant, which in the opinion of the DMV is compensated for to ensure safe driving ability, will not prevent the issuance of the license.
Boom.
CVC 12809 authorizes DMV to refuse to issue a CDL to any person not meeting the medical requirements.
Boom.
California regulations, Title 13, Article 2.1, 28.18, and 28.19 of the California Code of Regulations, CCR, provides the minimum physical and medical requirements for Class A, B, or Commercial C driver's license. These are the same standards required of motor carriers drivers by the Federal Highway Administration of the Department of Transportation. Federal government also requires people who are obese or weigh a certain amount to take a sleep test and use a CPAP machine. Okay.
No.
I didn't see that listed. I didn't see anything here about being overweight in the federal.
Discrimination against fat people? I don't think that's even. I don't think that's a protected class.
Yeah, I don't see anything here specifically addressing
obesity.
Yeah, there's nothing here addressing obesity. Let's see if that's a California thing. The California specific commercial drivers must submit a completed form, must be completed and signed by a healthcare professional who is licensed, certified, or registered in accordance with applicable laws. Blah blah blah. Medical examination report review, drive test, exceptions. Here we go. Factors DMV considers to determine if the medical condition will affect driving include, but are not limited to, history and length of medical condition, scope of commercial driving, hours of operation, driving record history, scope of employment, side effects of condition, geographic location, type of vehicle. Again, I see no reason, based off of California DMV's own website, as to why a person could not be issued a CDL, let alone a motorcycle license. They just hand those out like candy.
Take a class, you're good.
So I think Maya would be. I think she would be a prime candidate to receive a CDL.
I think she would be a badass bus driver.
Absolutely. I mean, she's able to handle a motorcycle with one leg. I think she could handle a bus.
She can handle a group of guys with one leg.
Yes. So also there's this thing called suspension of disbelief that you have to have a little bit of when you're watching.
It's a TV show.
Yeah. So
let her ride.
I really want to see them come out with a Speed 4 or whatever, and it be with her driving a bus. Aren't like 90% of bus drivers huge? I don't know the statistics. It's a Department of Transportation document aimed at rig drivers, and they closed us into it. Okay.
Oh, no, he said meant rolled.
You're wrong, but it's
okay. Carry on. Like a pro. What? I don't quite understand that, but okay. He's reading it off the website for California DMV. Like, okay.
Maybe I need to go to Valley Transit Authority's website.
I think we need to make a phone call over there.
Your representative, or at least he presented himself as an official authority of the Valley Transit Authority.
Do you have any bus drivers with prosthetic limbs? And if you don't, have they applied? And why were they denied?
And I've heard they have a hard time finding people. So you would think, that they
suspension of disbelief, like pro wrestling. Oh God!
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff. And then, okay. So, Mark, is there a way to check the federal?
So the federal was that first part of the DMV page.
Oh, then suck it.
Yeah. So that was, again, back up here. Give me just a second. I'll bring it back up for you, just so that we're all on the same page, if you will.
Same web page?
Same web page, if you will.
Yeah.
So this is the California DMV website. But here it clearly states who federal medical standards apply to.
Yeah.
And then it lists the medical standards.
There you go.
So this is directly referring to the federal requirements, which nowhere does it discuss fat people or obese people or people of a certain weight required to do specific testing. Then it goes into the California specific standards and regulations.
And there's nothing seems to be there either. So
yeah, so that's where I question. Okay, is this really?
I think VTA might be doing something wrong if that's the case.
Yeah, that's where I become concerned. Is if they are discriminating, going against federal or state law. That's an issue.
Might have to call up Uncle Pete.
Uncle Pete.
Yeah, Buttigieg.
Oh, because he is the Secretary of Transportation.
Transportation. Yeah. Hey man, I'm just trying to we got into a discussion about this. But can people with prosthetic limbs drive motor
Buses.
buses?
Motor
Motor
what
buses.
what is a non-motor bus? What is
I don't. I heard somebody refer to it as a motor bus one time,
okay?
and I was like, oh, okay. I think that was in England or a motor. Yeah, motor.
And
Something.
interestingly, I'm over here on the VTA website, and they've got a senior business systems analyst position, an enterprise risk manager, library and enterprise records manager,
Oh,
principal cloud administrator,
I bet people with prosthetics can do that.
substation maintainer.
If there's some reason that somebody wouldn't be able to do. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Here it is. I've been doing this for 10 years. You're wrong. Light rain, maybe. What? Light rain?
I think he meant light rail.
Oh, light rail. Bus? No. With an exclamation point.
Again, so we luckily we have this recorded, and he is speaking as an authority of VTA. So we're easily able to say your representative presented this. Can you please confirm this? They have
Who's this representative? Don't worry about that. We just wanted to confirm or deny.
Track worker, help keep the light rail on track, and transit safety officer. So I don't even see any bus driver positions.
Oh, well, then that would. But I mean, clearly somebody with that has an amputee or something along those lines that would make it quote unquote hard for them to drive a bus, according to Tyrus. Apparently, they can still work for VTA, just in some other department. So maybe light rail.
Yeah, I'm
light rain.
I'm amazed. And Tyrus, you guys are full up. You have no.
All the bus drivers.
Let's take a look. Maybe it's under the promotional openings. Contracts administrator. Ooh, I can go do that job.
No,
why would I want to? This pays less than what I'm making now. In California.
He says it's under coach operator.
Student intern, legal, $22 an hour.
Can you type that in?
It's less than half of what I make.
Can you put coach operator in the search bar?
Let's see. Is there a search?
I thought there was.
Search terms. Coach operator. VTA is hiring bus operators. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that terrible face mask he's wearing. Get that out of here. All right, let's see. In an effort to restore service to pre-pandemic levels, VTA is recruiting bus operators to help fill around 90 vacancies. A new training class begins December 27th. Well, are they talking about the end of this year, or was this just old? James, did you die? Oh, it looked like you fell asleep there. Hiring and training were suspended during 2020, started again in 2021. Training, growth opportunities, diversity, pay and benefits, some requirements. Applicants must be 18 years of age at time of application.
Okay.
Training and experience equivalent to a high school diploma, and have a valid California Class C driver's license. Well, that's what you and I both had when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
May not have more than 3 moving violations within the last 3 years. So you can have 3 moving violations in the last 3 years, and they'll still hire you.
Oh, that depends on probably what they are too.
It doesn't specify.
I'm
moving
sure.
violation is usually speeding, going through a stop sign, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind.
Not a DUI. DUI is not a moving violation.
Yeah.
That is a misdemeanor. Well, it might actually be in California be a felony now. I can't remember. Must have a good attendance record at school and or previous job.
It would be open for a few weeks, then they close applications, hire and train, that waive, then reopen later. So
Okay.
whatever.
Must be available to work weekends, holidays, and odd and unusual hours. Okay. So nothing listed here states you got to have all 4 of your limbs, all 10 of your digits.
Yep.
So okay, let's look at for more information. So they get paid $26.80 to $41.23 an hour. And let's see, minimum qualifications. Are you at least 18? Do you have a high school diploma? Do you have both of your legs? Oh, there. Oh no, that's not there. That's not there. Okay. Okay. VTA offers competitive benefits. Start at $21.80 an hour, move up to $23.78 per hour for an operator. Career development, pay for higher education, great medical, dental, vision, retirement and pension. Application process: apply online, in-person written examination, interview, in-person performance examination. So I don't see anything there about a medical history check or anything. After successful completion of the recruitment process above, if selected, you will then be required to obtain a commercial class B permit with passenger P and air brakes endorsement and receive a DOT, Department of Transportation, physical clearance that is valid for a minimum of 6 months. Okay. So again, there's nothing there that would indicate that you can't be handicapped or disabled or be missing a leg or a foot.
Call back to last week. What do brothers do? Brothers drive the bus.
Let's see. Typical essential job functions, typical tasks. Operates a motor coach safely in accordance with designated schedule, picks up and drops off passengers at designated bus stops, uses both feet to push on brakes. Oh, see. No, that's
not there either.
Not there. Collects fares and sells day passes, aids passengers, operates a wheelchair lift. I mean, they might need a wheelchair lift, but calls out stops, maintains order, operates a two-way radio, prepares accident incident reports, keeps records, performs related work. The DOT clearance is where the BMI sleep study stays. That's not listed in the federal requirements. So I'm thinking something you got schnookered maybe.
You got played.
Do you have the ability to learn to operate a motor coach? Do you have to learn to operate a two-way radio? Can you read maps, follow a schedule, follow oral and written instructions, prepare accident, incident, other reports, maintain simple records, deal courteously and effectively with the public? I know that's nope, that's not there.
Okay, just checking.
Perform simple arithmetic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the word arithmetic means?
That's a big word.
General instructions. So I'm not going to read through all this. Americans with Disability Act accommodations.
Here we go.
The Human Resources Department will make reasonable efforts in the recruitment examination process to accommodate.
Pause real quick, Mark. And Tyrus, turn your headphones up.
One more time. Americans with Disability Act accommodations. The Human Resources Department will make reasonable efforts in the recruitment examination process to accommodate applicants with disabilities. If you wish to request an accommodation, please click here. Let's take a look at what we get. In compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority will provide reasonable accommodations to qualified applicants with the employment application and testing processes. In order to request accommodation assistance, complete agency-wide questions 10 and 11 on the employment application and send an email to Belle Panu, Senior Human Resources Analyst, with the requested accommodation, along with any supporting documentation. Please submit your request in sufficient time prior to the closing deadline. Subject line: reasonable accommodation request.
Oh, there you go.
So, okay, just to make sure there's nothing else there. Application process information. Oh, there's a note: fat people need not apply. No, that's not there. So yeah, I'm still. This last line. This is the important one. VTA is an equal employment opportunity employer. VTA does not and will not tolerate discrimination against applicants or employees on the basis of age, ancestry, color, mental status, marital status,
Yep.
physical disability.
There it is.
Genetic information,
Uh-huh.
natural origin, immigration status, political
Uh-huh.
affiliation,
Yep.
race, religion, creed, sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, pregnancy, medical condition,
There you go.
disability, disabled veteran, or veteran status.
Hey,
etc.
read that one again real quick. Just the what was it? The will not deny you on what was that?
Mental or physical disability.
Disability. Boom. Right there, baby.
And again, one more, medical condition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight from the VTA website.
Wow. Reasonable accommodation. What falls under that? Don't worry about it.
I'm sure Tyrus can name and list every reasonable accommodation because he is the authority of VTA, Valley Transit Authority.
Yeah, well, Jeff has both mental and physical disabilities, so
Yes. And only one kidney.
and one kidney. Love you, Jeff. But no, yeah. So Tyrus, sometimes just. All right, I'm tired.
You got anything else fun and or exciting going on? Did you do anything this last week? Are you doing anything before you go into the bubble of Oak Bridge?
We did. We had our first flag football game last night. We won in a last minute, literally last seconds play. We got a safety. Oh, so the play prior, we got a safety. We got a safety, and so we got 2 points plus the ball back. So we had to run the length of the field, and the last seconds of the game, threw it up, and our guy was open, caught it in the end zone, touchdown. We won the game.
So wait, are you the quarterback?
No, I'm not the quarterback. I was playing both sides of the ball though, defense and offense.
So I'm confused. So how are you doing flag football?
What?
How are you doing flag football?
Oh, I told him. I said, hey, I'm doing this other thing. So if I can make it, I will. If I can't, then I won't. But I told him, I said, so yeah, I was able to go last night since we hadn't started yet. And so, yeah. Oh God, what the, hold on. He says, sorry. Again, reasonable accommodations. What does that mean? And they still have to pass the examination. Yeah, we're not saying we know that, but if they can pass the examination, then there's no reason. Jeff asked, "Can my dog ride the bus for free while I drive it?" And that man has a horse. He doesn't have a dog. He has a horse. He has a Great Dane. And then you guys try so hard to prove me wrong, but there aren't any bus drivers with a missing limb. Just because there is not one there does not mean that they don't exist. There's no reason that if they
Anywhere in the world.
it doesn't. If they can drive the bus without any real accommodations, I don't see why they shouldn't be able to. Your spouse and your children ride in the system for free while you're employed. Oh, I think that's the thing about the dog, but he's not married to the dog. So yeah, that's the only. I don't know. What are you watching?
So the headline, driver out of Dallas, Texas. I'm trying to. Went above and beyond.
Jeff said, why would a person give up sweet disability to work for the Bay? Or he said actually meant for VTA.
Yes, because welfare. Why get off?
Well, disability is different in most cases because like sometimes you can't.
I mean, like, There's some jobs you just can't do, and I definitely understand. There's some jobs you can't do if you have a disability, but this is not one of them. I remember when I was in elementary school, our PE coach was in a wheelchair. He wasn't running with us, wasn't doing push. I mean, he might have been doing push-ups at home or whatever, but he wasn't doing push-ups. He wasn't doing all that stuff when we were in elementary school. But he is, but he definitely he did that. He was our PE teacher. You guys, what do you say? Does it show up? Show. You guys are reaching so hard. We're not reaching. We're just stating.
We're just proving facts.
We're just stating facts.
He has provided nothing aside from just his opinion as the authority of the Valley Transit Authority.
A VTA.
Yes. But he has provided nothing of actual substance.
Yeah, I have got nothing. Anyway.
Oh man, that devolved quickly.
Well, that's what we talk about, right? We say that this show can go off the rails.
It sure as hell did. It went down a rabbit hole of finding out what the driving expectations were for.
The Amputee Coalition.
Brothers work for VTA as authorized authorities.
Yes, sir. Here's an interesting little bit of information. So, this is from the Amputee Coalition's website. Obtaining a commercial driver's license with limb loss or limb difference. After an amputation surgery, people are often eager to start setting goals for getting back to normal or finding their new normal. One of the most important pieces of that can be getting back to work. While your state's Department of Vocational Rehabilitation can offer valuable resources concerning employment and training, certain careers need specific considerations. One of those career fields includes anyone who does interstate driving or any driving that requires a CDL. Renewing your CDL is a different process from renewing your everyday license. So they have provided to drive in interstate or interstate commerce, you must have passed a medical examination within the last 2 years in accordance with Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulation 49 CFR 391 subpart E, as defined in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's medical examination report. This examination will need to be performed by a certified medical examiner, skill performance review. So again, there's nothing here that says, hey, you're missing a leg and you're not getting your CDL. So I would
double mic drop.
I would greatly welcome Tyrus to provide evidence.
Show us
or
show us the proof.
But just making the statements is not proof. Just because you say I had a motorcycle does not make you the authority.
Zero experience in the field, so you reach across multiple districts to prove your fact. You are wrong. Okay, listen.
All we're asking for is proof.
Yeah, we're not saying that we're right. We're just showing that what you're saying is wrong,
or that you've provided nothing to this point to back up your statements.
Yeah.
We're just asking for.
Hey, random side note.
Yeah.
Edge, Adam, aka Adam Copeland.
Yes, sir.
He was on the last episode of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and this week
as Ares. Yes, I heard.
Yeah, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is also in the series as Hermes.
Oh, that I was gonna say Bacchus, maybe, because
Hermes.
Hermes. Yeah.
Interesting. I had seen a photo of Edge, Adam Copeland riding a motorcycle. He's got functional legs, so he's allowed to, I guess.
Yeah, he has both legs.
I haven't watched Percy Jackson because I just don't care.
Tyrus,
can I put you down as a reference? Tyrus will fight for you.
Oh man, no, I'm just saying it's not like we're not trying to prove you wrong. You're just
We're not
giving.
saying you are wrong.
Yeah, we're not saying
We're
you
just
are
asking
wrong.
for you to show us you're right.
Because the thing is that what we're pulling up says what you're saying is very contradictory to everything else that we have found.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me that there is 0 bus drivers, non-school bus drivers, so 0. What would you call those? Commercial bus? I don't even know. Like he's saying, not.
I
bus
don't. I
drivers.
think no. Jeff, your problem is that because you are partially blind, you have to have a certain. You have to have what was it 20, 20 40 or something like that. You said, or something along those lines.
Yes, 2040, I believe.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't pass that part if you're partially blind.
All right, so I'm going to do one last, just because this is from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, the FMCSA.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the official website is fmcsa Department of Transportation .gov.
So
this would be federal. This is not a district, as Tyrus implies. This is the federal website. Driving a commercial motor vehicle is a big responsibility. It requires special skills and knowledge. Most drivers must obtain a commercial driver's license, CDL, through their home state. It is illegal to have a license from more than one state. In addition, special endorsements may be required if you or your company drivers will be driving any of the following vehicles: a truck with double or triple trailers, a truck with a tank, a truck with carrying hazardous materials, a passenger vehicle, such as a bus, right?
Hold on.
This specifically says,
hey,
y'all don't see me arguing about what goes on in the TSA. How can I bring proof when I'm not on the show? Google over here has all of the answers. Give us a link.
Yeah, well, we don't really talk about what goes on at TSA. Like, if you have questions about TSA, I can try and answer those to the best of my ability.
But you would never try to represent as the authority of TSA and that you know all.
The one thing I will say is, like, just certain things, make sure that, like Mark knows, the lady at Disneyland told him, and I backed her up on that, like with the snow globes. Yes, if she said, if you were flying, make sure you put this in your check bag.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yes, I tell people that all the time. Like, hey, you have this, that's fine, but you have to check a bag. Like, I can't let it through here. And so, like, we try and tell people that prior. Mm-hmm. We have it on the website what can and cannot come through. There are certain things that aren't exactly on the website, so we do have to ask our supervisors and sometimes our managers if what they have is okay. But
so now we'll move over to the medical page.
He says, "Oh wait, Jose, I never said I was the legal representative of VTA. That's what you said. Yeah, we were kidding, but yeah." Then Jeff said, "But C. James is federal. You work for a bus."
He doesn't work for a bus.
He doesn't work. He works on.
I don't think he reports to the bus.
Hey, bus, is it okay? Can I go home? Sure, Tyrus. It's turned.
Have a good night. Beep beep.
Transformers.
Okay, so there is state-by-state instructions for submitting medical certificates to the state driver licensing agencies, self-certification FAQs, what are CDL holders required to do?
Stupid.
Physical impairments.
Oh, Jeff said the bus is in charge.
Drivers with physical impairments which affect their ability to safely operate CMVs must obtain a variance from their state in order to be approved to drive commercially. The variance document must be carried with the commercial driver whenever they are operating a commercial motor vehicle. A skill performance evaluation, SPE, is a special type of variance required for drivers with impaired or missing limbs, e.g., a hand or a finger, an arm, foot, or leg. Drivers with missing limbs, if eligible, must obtain an SPE certificate. The commercial driver must always carry the SPE certificate at all times.
There we go.
So again, I'm not seeing anything here that disqualifies a person for missing a foot or missing a leg outright. So all I'm asking for from Tyrus is to simply provide me with where that exists, where it says, "Oh, you're missing your left foot. Sorry, you can't drive."
Yeah.
Like, I have seen nothing that seems to indicate that being the case.
And the thing is that again, I mean, like I said, I don't know. Yes, you're right. I don't drive a bus. I've never driven a bus, but I don't see why somebody with a missing limb wouldn't be able to drive a bus.
And then here we have a state by state. So California, Department of Motor Vehicle, CDL unit. There's the address. Consequences for driver's failure to keep medical certificate. Driving privilege reverts to a non-commercial status. A driving record is marked not valid for commercial operations. And California doesn't even provide an email address or a website. They do provide a 916 Sacramento phone number. And we already looked at California's website, and there was nothing there that clearly indicated. We looked at VTA's website, and there's nothing.
Yeah, if eligible. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. Is that yes? We've been saying that the entire time. If
We're not saying that 100% of people missing legs can get a CDL.
Right,
That's not what we're saying.
We're saying if they're missing a limb and they can do the function of being a driver, why wouldn't they be able to be a driver? That's what we're saying.
Yeah. And everything I've seen seems to indicate that that can be the case.
I drove a bus in GTA. Stupid.
Tyrus drives a bus in VTA, so
Yeah, you're one in GTA. I close, I guess, but not really.
yes, no. So I don't know. I will await an email, Tyrus.
Mhm.
It's not like you don't have our emails. You could
Right.
email us these links that you're supposedly seeing where you have these answers.
Yeah. Because I'd love to see them.
Yeah. So I just, again, I am of the belief that when everything seems to indicate the other way,
We're not saying you're wrong, but we're also not saying you're right.
we're just saying you've provided nothing to prove that you are correct. We're
Oh,
just supposed to take
here we
you
go.
at your word. Go ahead and think what you want. The moment I get a coworker that's missing LA,
He meant a leg.
and they are driving the bus, I will come on the show and apologize to you both in person, but that will never happen. So you are stating that the only way you will accept this is if you get a specific
I mean, close enough. That's from Jeff about the bus thing.
yes, if you get a specific coworker in the VTA, but if there's a amputee anywhere in the state of California or anywhere in federal for that matter, then we must be wrong.
There's
There's
way
no
for
way
me
for-
to prove anything. I'm not sitting in front of my computer like you want. We're not. Listen, we're not asking you. We're not asking you to be in front of your computer to send us stuff right now. You can send it to us later, and we can talk about
If
it
you
later.
if you're able to provide it, we'll come on next week and we'll say we were wrong.
Yeah, but if you can't, then we weren't wrong. You definitely weren't right. I mean, the thing is that we're not trying to say that you're wrong. We're not trying to say that
I'm trying to say that if what he's claiming is true, that's wrong.
right, because the thing is that what I've said multiple times is that if somebody can do everything, they can pass the test, they can do everything they're supposed to, then I don't understand why they wouldn't be able to drive the bus.
Yeah. Like I'm using a voice chat and the phone likes to switch my words around.
We're not worried about that. We can figure that part out. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that like the whole thing is if this is not what you meant, if some of the stuff that you're saying is not what you meant, then that's fine. We can discuss that later. But the main thing is that what you're saying is that a person who's missing a leg wouldn't be able to drive a bus. what we're saying,
He's not just saying leg. He's saying basically any physical disability, even though California federal VTA even all
Everything-
clearly state medical accommodations can be made.
everything that's
Reasonable
there,
medical.
right, and everything that we have found, that Mark has found so far, is to the contrary. So, I mean, yes, you may not actually drive with somebody, but you know, there are tons of public transportation systems all across the country. I can't imagine one like
I mean, just in the Bay Area, there are 8.
really.
Oh yeah, because there's there's the one in Muni. There's BART even has buses.
I'm sorry, there are 27 agencies. I just
Holy
looked this
crap.
up.
In the Bay?
Creating a more convenient, useful transit system for the Bay Area requires more than just sustainable sources of revenue. It also means confronting the region's fragmented 27 agencies.
Jesus.
27 agencies.
So I can't imagine that there has to be somebody out there.
And
Ooh.
just to be clear, just so you know exactly who those are, AC Transit, Alameda Contra Costa County Transit Line, ACE, Altamont Corridor Express, BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit District, Caltrain, City of Dixon, Ready Ride, County Connection, FAST, Golden Gate Transit, Lavta, Marin Transit, Petaluma Transit, Rio Vista Delta Breeze, Sam Trans, San
What?
Francisco Bay
Hold on.
Ferry.
Sorry. This all boils down for me saying that the bike that Echo was riding has no modifications for her disability. I'm done. What?
So the fact of the matter is, if it didn't have any modifications, then she wouldn't have been able to write it because the actor is disabled.
Right. And I mean, they
So-
very well could have had somebody else driving that bike because we've seen it before. But
Sure.
from what it looks like she's actually riding said bike. So what I'm saying is that even if that's what it boils down to, is that we showed Mark read from the Harley Davidson that modifications to the bikes can be made. Her dad worked in an auto body shop. So if anything, she could have got a bike from there. Actually, it's probably more like a chop shop, but regardless, they could have modified the bike for her there.
And just so that, again, I like to back up my what I state with facts. Here is a picture of Aloxa Cox with her. She is an amputee. So this is legit. It's not made up. You know, the actor herself, you know, has the disability, if you will, because that's what we as a society call them. But yeah, so just to be clear, yeah. Yeah, and Tyra still has yet to prove that a motorcycle cannot be modified. If anything, we have proven that a motorcycle can be modified.
The modifications weren't on the bike, James. What are you talking about?
He has no way of knowing that.
I don't know
So-
that. I don't know that there was no modification.
and Tyrus also has no way of knowing that. He is purely going off of what he saw on the screen and assuming that he can see everything that's done within the bike. So
What? Jeff, come on. What?
you gotta read it.
Oh man.
You gotta read it.
Yo, you ever date a chick with a missing limb? It's hot. Oh, okay. Are you serious? I did say that a bike can be modified. The one she is riding is not. This is the whole talking text thing. But are you saying you did not say that the bike can be modified, or I don't understand. The one that she is riding is not. How do you know it's not modified?
What kind of bike is it, Tyrus? Can you tell me specifically? You've seen it, and clearly you know that it doesn't have modifications. So, what kind of bike is it?
because I couldn't tell you what kind of motorcycle it is either. But if it is,
I could. Do you know why? I'm doing the research.
Oh, what kind is it?
I'm not going to say yet. I want Tyrus
Oh.
to tell me. I'm sure he's looking it up, but I'd love for him to have just been able to tell us that he knows what it is.
Yeah. Can we discuss this next week?
No.
I'm tired.
So I'm looking at a couple of different motorcycle websites where they're talking about the modifications for specifically the Continental GT, which is what that bike was, and yes, the bike is modified, can be modified, and was modified for the series. So just because Tyrus did not recognize said modifications does not mean that it is not true.
He shoots, he scores.
Just finished the premiere of Echo on Disney Plus. Let me tell you, Maya Lopez ride stole the show. Well, besides her skills, of course. Rolling up on that blacked out Continental GT with crimson accents. Talk about a bad A entrance. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to say.
You guys don't have the ability to identify specific bike parts, so it's not even worth going into it with you. But
yet he has for the last almost
you called
hour.
the clutch a brake, and James didn't know that there's a brake pedal. I said
that's not relevant
Yeah,
because again, just because we don't necessarily know bike parts doesn't mean that other people aside from you don't.
right.
You are not the authority on motorcycles.
I don't. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why? How did? Like, yeah, I don't know because I don't know. But I don't know bikes. I've ridden on a motorcycle like once, but I was riding with somebody else. So, like, yeah, I don't know like specifics.
What was that like? Were you on the back, like with your arms wrapped around the belly?
Yeah,
And a
basically.
bus is just a big car. Oh, that's gonna piss Tyrus off.
Yeah, no.
Oh, Jeff is trolling tonight.
Jeff is definitely trolling tonight. But yeah, no. Like, what we're saying is, like everything. We're not trying to like. Yeah, I don't know the bike. I don't know buses. But I'm like, what I'm saying is that just like what you're saying doesn't make any sense to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to like. I'm just saying like it devolved into something it shouldn't have been. Anyway.
No, this is what we do here, right? We're willing to.
That bike had a regular gear shift.
I don't think he can definitively say that is correct. He can state whatever he believes to be true, but that doesn't mean that it is the fact.
Why does it keep popping up? I keep clearing it.
I don't know. It's because he really wants to make that point, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, the whole reason for switching back to this as well is because there is no proof to the contrary of what we have found proof of. And I will continue to believe that a motorcycle can be modified, that motorcycle appears to have been modified based on what I'm seeing and reading. So until I'm proven otherwise, just because somebody says it to be true does not make it true. So you show the picture of the bike with the regular gear shift and you don't even know what the gear shift is. I don't need to.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. We're just talking about the bike itself. We're not saying that we're not saying that it was. If you can clearly see it wasn't modified, then
You got to remember the whole thing started because he made the statement that she wouldn't be able to ride a motorcycle, and then it devolved from there because yes, she could ride a motorcycle.
and
Then it became that specific motorcycle.
yeah,
Then it
and
became
one leg guy can drive the bus.
Exactly. So until I am given proof evidentiary of the contrary,
Yeah. Listen, if you prove it to us, We have zero
It's-
problem with saying we
Because
were
in
wrong.
no way have you or I sat here and tried to say
No.
you are wrong because we see X, Y, Z. You
Yeah, we
don't-
were just saying we see this, which is actually contrary to what you were saying.
yeah,
We're not saying that you're wrong, but we're just saying, according to what we found tonight, that is
we're not
contrary.
speaking on our own personal beliefs or authority. We're speaking from federal websites, state websites, your own employer's website.
We went to multiple
So
multiple
it's
websites.
it's not like we didn't do any due diligence.
Yeah, if we were just we were just like, no,
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 you're
no,
wrong.
no.
Which is what he has done multiple times. He's
We're
told
not-
us we are wrong multiple times.
We're
with
not saying
nothing
that.
to support that.
And yeah, I don't know a bike, but you're telling me that you can clearly tell that that bike wasn't modified for a disabled rider.
How do we know? We're not claiming that. We're not saying you're wrong. We're just
No,
saying
You could be
according
right.
to what I'm finding on.
And he's looking up people who worked on the or not maybe not worked on the show, but people who
You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm really hoping that when they do the making of series, that they're going to at that point. You just interpreted what you wrote on the internet into your own words.
no
What did I
no,
write?
He didn't. He read specific things from
Yes, I was reading verbatim.
yeah
from-
verbatim from the page.
Yeah, I didn't write any of that. Brothers can be spokespeople, but not know.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, yeah, no, everything that Mark, there was some things he put in there that was like, oh, does this say about no legs? And then it'd be like no leg, and he'd be like, oh no, that's not on there. But everything that he was reading, everything that he was saying about that stuff, he was reading from the websites. And
Yeah,
Tyrus
it makes me
says-
wonder if
Tyrus has
Tyrus-
voice text, so I don't know if something he's saying voice text. I don't know if that is what's
the
making
excuse
everything
to make everything.
so wrong. But we're not, and again, not saying you're wrong, but just saying everything that we've seen, everything that Mark has pulled up tonight has shown the contrary.
Here's what I can say. Here's what I can say as a fact, based on what I've seen from the federal website, the California website, and
Right.
the VTA website.
Right.
There is nothing I have seen that indicates that a person that is an amputee, missing a foot, missing a leg, missing a finger, missing a hand, cannot be a bus driver. I have not seen anything that indicates that to be true.
Right.
I have seen that it could be, there is the possibility for a reasonable accommodation. I'm not here to state whether that is a reasonable accommodation or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have seen nothing that indicates that missing a finger, missing a foot, missing a hand, missing a leg disqualifies you
Right.
from being a bus driver.
Right.
In the state.
Right.
And I don't see anything federally that says that. And I don't see anything on VTA's website that says that.
Right. They said reasonable accommodations can be made. Now, what consider, like you asked, what considers a reasonable accommodation? We don't know. But
That-
they're obviously saying that oh, hold on. What are you saying here?
No, I'm saying you are wrong and you are interpreting what you have read into your own words. I can do the same thing in my favor if you have proven nothing.
Is this your voice text thing again?
I'm hoping, because maybe he should check the voice text before he pushes send.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it auto sends once you finish. I think you still have the chance to look at it and make sure, is this what I meant to say? Again, I'm not interpreting. I'm reading verbatim what these pages say. And
We're drawing reasonable we are drawing some reasonable conclusions based on what we have read.
yes, and your statement of an amputee cannot, which is something you stated earlier, and we have it in writing, so we can go back to that. But you did state that an amputee or a person with a prosthetic leg cannot. You stated that, but there is nowhere that shows that that's the truth.
Yes, you're saying that you did say that they like VTA, like the light rail would be definitely easier for them because that's all hand. And I get that. But then by that conclusion,
by the conclusions that you have made, you're saying that somebody without like missing an arm who has maybe like a prosthetic arm, prosthetic limb
Could
could not do the light rail.
And again, I have seen nothing that indicates that to be accurate, aside from you stating it, and so you're
Right.
telling us to
So
take
what
your word for it.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that we went and looked these things up. Mark read them off verbatim from the page. Then we made reasonable conclusions based on those things.
By all means, if you have some documentation
Yeah.
from your job that says, "Hey, we don't hire no cripples," cool. Let's see that. Like I would love to see that.
They will 100% have a lawsuit on their hands.
Yes. Yes.
But let's see.
Someone with a prosthetic arm can do light rail. You are putting words in my mouth.
No, I wasn't putting words in your mouth. I was saying that by the what you had said earlier about somebody with a prosthetic leg, that
Would be better off doing
light rail. They could probably do. You said they could do light rail. What I'm saying is then by that kind of assumption that somebody with a prosthetic arm could not do light rail. That's what I was saying. I wasn't putting words in your mouth. I'm just saying by.
So again, light rail is a part of VTA. If they can make a reasonable accommodation for a person missing an arm or using a prosthetic arm to do light rail, you would think they could do a reasonable accommodation for a person missing a foot to drive a bus.
I mean, he is an authorized spokesperson, so.
I know we should just take his word if he's authorized.
But
If he is the authority.
the authority.
You remember
But
the good old days of WWE when there was the authority?
The authority. Who was that? It was Vince, Stephanie, Triple H, and then what? Bald Kane.
Bald King, yes.
And who else was in that? Big Show, I think, joined the authority.
He was there for a minute. Randy Orton was
not
there.
CM Punk. Randy Orton was in the authority. Did Seth join the authority?
That was not the authority. That was later when it was just Stephanie and Hunter as the authority.
There it was. That's what it was. Corporate Kane.
Corporate Kane. There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes.
Hold on. Here we go.
You guys have zero experience, again, not relevant, in both fields. I'm not going to argue with you about what you do in your field because I know nothing about it.
We're not arguing about
We're not
what you do
arguing.
in your field. We are just saying, we're basically just talking about what you said. What you said was this. We found the contrary to that, and we just stated it. It wasn't like.
Again, we're not saying you are wrong.
No.
We're just simply asking for you to show us proof.
We can
We can
agree
agree.
to disagree, mainly because you're wrong. Wow. See, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't move the conversation forward. You're saying that we're wrong because we don't do it without proof. Like that's what we're saying, Tyrus. If you have the paperwork that tells us that if a person with an amputee, specifically leg, cannot drive a bus,
Just show it to us.
just show it to us.
That's all you have to do. It's pretty easy.
We will because we're probably not going to get it before the show is over, and even though we've gone like an hour and a half over, but it doesn't really matter because we don't have a time limit. Even though we're probably not going to get that tonight, if you send it to us tomorrow, we will do next week on the show. We will show
We'll say here.
what you said.
Here is the proof. Tyrus was right.
Yeah, and so yeah.
Cool. I have no problem with that. I still would say I think it's wrong. But you didn't find a contrary James. You tiptoed around it. It's all good. Have fun. Good night. You didn't find a contrary. I'm not.
Yeah, I understand. We didn't find anything that said that they.
It's fine, James. Ultimately, he is conceding because he is unable to provide anything, and that's why he's walking away. He's picking up his ball and going home. That's the long and short of it, right? when you are shown facts and you have nothing to counter said facts, all you're left with is to make the choice to pick up your ball and go home.
All we're asking, if we are wrong, show us, please. That's all we.
Yes, don't just say you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like, you remember me when you worked for me. Like, my one big thing is, don't come to me with a problem without a potential solution.
Right.
So similarly, don't tell me I'm wrong without showing me how I'm wrong. Just making the statement that you're wrong doesn't make you wrong. Because I could say the Niners are going to lose on Sunday. I can see you to nothing. You're wrong. It's just useless to argue with you because you're too stubborn to listen to someone who's been in the field for 10 years. So again, this is where, again, because we don't have a motorcycle, because we don't have a motorcycle license, we can't speak about motorcycles. Because we're not bus drivers, and because haven't been bus drivers for 10 years or longer than him, if we were both bus drivers right now for a year, he would say, well, I've got 9 more years of experience. So again, all we're asking for is proof. He is trying to say we should just trust him, and I don't just trust anyone when it comes to most things.
But verify. Yeah, that's all. Listen. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm tired, and I think, again, if you can show us, we'll say we're sorry, and that'll be it. But until then,
I'm not going to say we were right. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm definitely not going to say you're right, because you've given me nothing to indicate as such.
Right. And that's all we want. You can show us, we're good. We can admit that, because we weren't really making a point that.
James, I can take a lighter on a plane.
Huh?
I can take a lighter on a plane.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But you can't take a torch lighter on a plane.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
No, you're wrong. I can.
Okay. Well, if you say so. You're not going to get. Well, if you happen to get.
My point is, I can say you're wrong however many times I want. That doesn't mean I'm right.
I was going to say that one I can 100% tell
but you get my point, right? Like, I can
Yeah.
say you're wrong, but if I can't provide any proof evidentiary that I am correct, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's all we're asking for is provide us proof. Don't just say you're wrong. That doesn't do anything. That gets us nowhere. Yeah. And again, we didn't say we were right. We just said, here are the facts that we found.
This is what we looked up.
Yeah.
And that's what we found, and we presented it.
This is the problem, and this is a bigger topic, but this is, I don't want to go into the topic, but this is the problem with our society today, is a person anywhere makes a statement, other people hear or see that statement and believe it to be true without ever doing any research for themselves. Tyrus made the statement that an amputee cannot drive a bus. That to me sounds outlandish.
Right. That's what we were both saying. We were both saying that seems wrong.
And that's why I researched, because to me, to carte blanche say no person that is an amputee can ever drive a bus. That's
what you said. That's discrimination.
It could be, yeah.
It could be discrimination. It could be construed as discrimination. Now, if that person were to, if
they took the driver's test and they failed, that's not discrimination.
That's not discrimination. They failed.
But if they took the driver's test,
passed
the driver's test,
they couldn't pass it,
are able to do whatever's required to do the job.
But exactly. If they're able to do everything else, then I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah. And again, if we're wrong,
we will. I mean, listen, I don't really have any cards in this game, but I could say I could take an L. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no real skin off my back, but just to say it, we looked it up because it sounded weird.
Yeah, just the reality of, well, and I'm also one of those people, when you tell me I can't do something, I want to prove you're wrong.
Right.
So
I'm sure there's tons of disabled people.
Obviously,
you can't drive this bus, and so they'd be like, "Oh,
I'm gonna drive this bus.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna drive this damn bus.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, I will figure out how to drive this damn bus.
Come hell or high watermelon.
Oh, delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime's coming, and I'll be back out. 21st Amendment.
In like 6 months, but yeah.
They have it. You know what? I found some that was like it tasted it. I don't know. It didn't taste old. It just tasted different.
I found at Costco they had a 21st Amendment brewery like
Pack.
assorted pack.
Yeah.
And I was like this close to getting it, but it didn't have watermelon wheat. So I was like,
Oh.
if that was there, I'd get it.
Yeah, it's all their other stuff.
Yeah.
Their other stuff is pretty good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but,
for sure. I've had, I don't know, 2 or 3 other
Yeah.
ones, but if
But that
hell,
one's-
if
that
that was there, I would have gotten it.
Hell or High Watermelon is definitely the best one for me.
Oh, for sure.
But anyways, all right, man. Well, I hope your infection gets better this week now that you have right medication.
I feel fine, and my toe looks good. Not 100%, but it, comparatively looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I think the original medication was doing something. Maybe it just wasn't happening as quickly as it could have with a better medication.
Right.
So, I have no doubt I will be drinking with you next Wednesday,
Hooray!
and hopefully not doing an apology tour.
Well, I mean, even if we do have to do one, then we will we will do that, and
Yeah.
we have no problem with doing that.
No.
But all we just need to know, we just need the proof for it. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Jeff said, "Show it." I rode the bus and drove one on GTA, so I'm better than you. Wow.
If he needs to get it cut off, he can't drive the bus.
Oh, jeez, Jeff. Go back under your bridge. Go back under your bridge, Jeff.
Gosh darn troll.
Go back under your bridge. But no,
We didn't. One thing we didn't talk about at all, and I apologize, is we didn't talk about KaboomCon at all.
Oh,
and-
yeah, tickets are on sale.
Tickets are on sale September 7th. Tickets are on sale now through Eventbrite.
Yeah.
KaboomCon, Kaboom, KABOOM-CON. Go get your tickets. They're only $10. They are moving quickly, so I would not
You might
advise
be able to get it at the
waiting.
door.
Yeah, I actually had somebody reach out
'Cause
asking
at the door,
"Hey,"
we're gonna charge you like $500. I'm just kidding. We're not doing it.
I don't know about that,
No.
but we did actually have some folks reach out and say, "Hey, will we be able to buy tickets at the door?" And my response is simply, "Yes, if they're still available."
Why don't you just buy it at the door when you could just buy it online?
Well, not only that, but I get it, we're 9 months out, right?
Eventbrite. And
I'm
things
not
might,
saying-
things might change, but
Yeah.
You could
Well,
hand,
I
you
mean,
can hand that shit off. We don't
Look,
have.
again, the tickets are moving. Like I'm not going to announce numbers or anything,
Right.
but the tickets are moving. If they continue to move at the rate that they're at, we won't have tickets at the door.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine as we get closer, I would think the ticket sales will go up. So my recommendation is if you want to go, don't wait.
He said, this fool, I'm just waiting for Tyrus to add me to message me. Stupid. Like we said, I don't know why he seemed to get all riled up about it, but we were just saying that the point he was making was just kind of asinine.
Well, and originally, from my perspective, it wasn't a statement necessarily on him. It was more of a statement on if your employer is saying this.
Yeah,
that's a
that too.
problem in my book.
that is because
But then it became okay. Clearly,
yeah,
but
but
it's not
like
your employer that's asinine.
and that's the thing. If it's and if like it truly is, if VTA is saying that, which that's also contradictory to
their
their
website.
website, then but that's still also an issue because of that would be discrimination based on a disability.
Yeah, which goes
Which-
against their own
Yeah,
policy.
it goes against federal policies and everything else. So
Yeah.
Americans with Disabilities Act. So yeah, so hey, we'll see. If he shows us, then we're good. If not, the subject is dead and buried, and we won't need to really visit that again.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Scared. See, this is what I thought. See, didn't I say it? Sometimes it takes the show in a different direction.
It was
And
completely off the rails. Luckily, we were at the like back end and we were pretty
Yeah.
much done. But like, yeah. this has been an over hour and a half deviation. That
can't be on. Can't bus schedule can't be that far behind.
right. Anyways,
All right.
have a good night, y'all.
You too. Have a good night, guys. Peace.